talking about designing professional developments for teachers so that they can successfully implement math stations within their classroom. Hello, and welcome to Shut Up and Teach, where we dive into a world of transformative education. And I'm your host, Kim G. Nice to meet you. Let's dive right in.
Let's dive into the world of math stations. Math stations are designed for teachers who want to boost student collaboration and engagement. This blended course design is perfect for elementary and middle school teachers looking to make math class more exciting. We'll focus on innovative teaching strategies to help you create a more dynamic and interactive learning environment. This course is also about exploring new ways to bring math to life and to get your students actively involved. This curriculum guide is crucial because it ensures that math stations are aligned with educational objectives. It will also help educators smoothly transition to using math stations for the first time or help them hone their current stations to make them better. So, are we using competency based education or outcome based education? Drum roll, please. We're using outcome based education. Why? Because it aligns perfectly with the goal of focusing on specific learning outcomes like collaboration and engagement in math. The Finks 3-column table serves as the design map. I've structured the learning objectives, tasks, and evaluations into a clear 3-column table. This will enable teachers to define math stations, create appropriate stations for each grade level, integrate technology, and so much more. The learning goals will steer the educators throughout the course. My motivation for designing this math station course originates from my days as the first year teacher in a new state. I was tasked with learning all the new standards and was handed an extensive checklist at the start of the school year. A major item on that checklist was the mandate for math stations in your classroom. Having never encountered stations, I was clueless about setting them up or incorporating them into my teaching. Too often, well, in my experience, educators are instructed to implement strategies without adequate training. This course aims to craft a learning journey for educators, equipping them to embrace math stations confidently. When I introduced math stations, my students' growth was remarkable. My fondness for stations grew to the point where small group teaching became my exclusive method of teaching. I steered clear of whole group instruction because the stations provided me the means to meet my students at their level and to teach them without imparting a fixed mindset, as opposed to, whole group instruction. This powerful tool, the 3-column table, breaks down the learning process into 3 main components: learning goals, learning activities, and assessment activities. By the end of this video, you will have a solid understanding of how I use this table to enhance math teaching strategies and to improve student engagement and learning outcomes. Plus, I'll share how I plan to blend learning experiences using both asynchronous and face to face interactions. As I stated, this table is a framework that helps educators plan their lessons more effectively by aligning learning goals, activities, and assessment. The idea is to ensure that all 3 components are closely connected, creating a cohesive and comprehensive learning experience for students. In this context, 3 columns are learning goals. What do you want your students to learn? Learning activities. How will the students achieve these goals? And assessment activities. How will you measure whether the students have achieved the learning goals? Let's look at the learning goals. The document that I designed outlines several key goals for teachers implementing math stations. Goal 1, teachers will be able to explain math stations, what they are, and they will be able to identify at least 3 ways they help students collaborate and stay engaged. Goal 2, teachers will design math stations tailored to their students' grade levels, accommodating different learning styles and abilities. Goal 3, teachers will learn to use developmentally appropriate practices to enhance math learning at stations. Goal 4, teachers will develop a portfolio of strategies that support mathematical growth, including hands-on activities and problem-solving tasks. Goal 5, teachers will implement technology enhanced math stations and analyze their effectiveness based on student feedback and performance data. So by setting clear goals, teachers can better focus their efforts and align their activities and assessments to support these objectives. So let's look at the learning activities for math stations. These are specific tasks and exercises that help achieve the learning goals. Goal 1, set up workshops where teachers watch videos for classroom using math stations, and they will follow with group discussions about pros and cons and have teachers create concept maps or short reflections about the benefits of math stations. For goal 2, teachers will conduct and design challenge in small groups. Teachers collaborate to plan a set of math stations, including materials, instructions, and assessment methods. They can then present their plans to their team or their groups for peer feedback and to implement them in their classrooms. Goal 3, we will use case studies to explore math problems suitable for different developmental stages. Engaging teachers in role playing activities to practice supporting diverse learners at math stations. So teachers will get to create a station and they will get to experience their station from the perspective of the students. Goal 4, the teachers will organize a project and they will collaborate to create a digital portfolio of strategies, including hands-on activities and gamified math tasks. Peer teacher sessions can help showcase these methods and provide constructive feedback. And then for goal 5, the plan is to host a technology fair where teachers explore digital tools and create lesson plans integrating technology into math stations. Teacher can then test these plans in their classrooms and discuss the outcomes with the peers. These activities are designed to be engaging and practical, providing teachers with hands-on experience and collaboration opportunities to refine their skills. So this is my approach to the blended learning piece. My goal is to create an environment where teachers can work asynchronously to synthesize their learning rather than having to sit and listen to a facilitator talk for hours. And there's never a follow up from listening to a facilitator talk for hours. This way, teachers have the flexibility to engage with the content at their own pace, reflect on their practice, and then bring their insights into face-to-face interactions and collaborations. The asynchronous course will allow teachers to access resources, participate in discussions, and complete activities on their schedule. This approach not only promotes a deeper understanding, but also encourages more meaningful face to face sessions where teachers can collaborate, share experiences, and refine their strategies based on real classroom experiences. So, to clarify, when I say on their schedule, I do not want teachers, I do not want you, hear me well, to be at home with your family and you're doing an asynchronous course. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the asynchronous piece would take the place of a facilitator talking. So you can work together and collaborate while working through the asynchronous course and collaborating with your peers. The facilitator would take on the role of being a mentor, popping in when you need help, uh, bouncing ideas back and forth. That way, you are in charge of your learning. So I just wanted to make sure that was clear. All right. So last but not least, the assessment activities for math stations. Let's look at the assessment activities. These activities ensure that learning goals have been met and provide a way for teachers to reflect on their practice and students' learning. So for goal 1, we use pre and post assessment surveys to gauge understanding before and after the activities. Teachers submit written reflections or concept maps to demonstrate their knowledge of math stations and their benefits. It is in no way meant to be like, I got you. You didn't want to do any of the work, so here's your F. No, solely for giving you time to gain your own insights and knowledge on how you want your math stations to be. For goal 2, we will assess the math station plans presented by teachers based on criteria like clarity, creativity, and alignment with educational standards. Reflective journals can also be used to document the implementation experience and student reactions. So imagine you bring your reflective journal and you see one of your teacher friends in your group and like, girl, I tried stations and it was just a hot mess. This is what happened. And you read from the reflective journal, and then that person can offer some tips and tricks on what worked for them. So you're not drowning in your classroom, right? Mistakes are powerful, and we learn the most from mistakes. Goal 3. So a teacher will submit lesson plans that incorporate developmental principles, which can be evaluated for its alignment with developmental stages and effectiveness in enhancing mathematical understanding. And I'm thinking, my thought process behind this is when you think about a teacher, every teacher has a filing cabinet in their classroom. And in their filing cabinet, especially the teachers that have been teaching for like 20 years. They have 20 years worth of resources in those filing cabinets. How beautiful would it be if every teacher had access to that filing cabinet from that teacher that had been teaching for 20 years? Wouldn't that be beautiful? So that's what digital portfolios, that's what they will come into play, right? A digital portfolio would be a filing cabinet that everyone can access and get activities or get inspiration from their colleagues. Goal 4, we will review the digital portfolios created by teachers for variety, appropriateness, and potential effectiveness, and include a written analysis or case study application to justify their strategy choices. Successful teacher, you have to make it make sense to them for them to want to incorporate anything that's being told to them in their classroom. Essentially, This is what goal 4 would do. It would make it make sense. And then finally, goal 5, teachers will collect and analyze student feedback and performance data after implementing their technology enhanced math stations. The students, it is just as much as their learning environment as it is their teachers. And I found that receiving student feedback on my lessons, my stations, allowed me to tailor their learning experiences to them. So, learning to receive feedbacks from students is a very powerful way to enhance instruction in your classroom. Then, the teachers will revise their station designs based on this feedback and self reflection. These assessment activities not only measure learning outcomes, but also encourage continuation and improvement in teaching practices. So, in conclusion, the Finks 3 table column that I designed, well, I didn't design it, I used it to plan and implement effective math stations. By clearly defining learning goals, designing engaging activities, and using thoughtful assessments, you can create a dynamic learning environment that supports all students. And remember, blending asynchronous learning with face to face interactions provide flexibility and fosters deeper understanding. Oh, and if you've lasted this long, thank you for watching. Next up, the implementation outline. Let's talk about my design approach. I've chosen a blended learning approach, combining face to face workshops with digital resources. This approach provides flexibility and encourages teachers to engage in hands on activities, which is perfect for exploring math stations. Let's look at week 1, introductions to math stations. During week 1, the focus is on understanding what math stations are and exploring their benefits. The teachers will start by watching videos of successful classroom implementation and engage in group discussions to weigh the pros and cons. It would be like an icebreaker week. Everyone would get to know each other and, just get comfortable. This week will include pre assessment surveys and an activity where the teacher can write either a short essay or create a concept map about math stations. So the key takeaways would be to gain a foundational understanding of math stations and to reflect on how math stations can benefit their classrooms. During week 2, teachers will get to get creative. This week is all about designing your own math stations that are appropriate for different grade levels. So teachers will participate design in a design challenge in small groups to plan out their stations, including selecting materials and creating clear instructions. So the activities will include collaborative design sessions, presenting your plans for peer feedback to enhance clarity and creativity. And to achieve these goals, a series of engaging learning activities will be designed. The teachers will get to role play. Role playing allows teachers to explore math problems tailored for various developmental stages and modify existing math stations activities to better serve their students' needs. Group partners will have the opportunity to engage with at least one station that a teacher has created. These stations will be gathered into a class portfolio, which each teacher may incorporate into their own classroom. Week 3 is all about bringing your plans to life. Teachers will implement the math stations in their classroom and observe how their students interact with them. Following this, they'll reflect on the experience in a journal entry or a discussion post or other different avenues, focusing on what went well and what could be improved based on student reactions. So, a reflection point would be consider the dynamics of student engagement and interaction with the stations. For instance, one time I tried to implement a station and the kids reacted terribly to it. They were bored out of their minds, and I had to go back to the drawing board. I wish I could have went to a colleague and got insight on, well, why did this station perform as terribly as it did? I could have saved 3 hours of my life planning this station. Now, week 4, this is probably why the station was boring, because it more than likely wasn't developmentally appropriate. So week 4 emphasizes the importance of aligning math station activities with developmental milestones, supporting student mathematical growth. In week 5, the focus shifts to enhancing mathematical understanding and growth. Teachers will work collaboratively to build a digital portfolio filled with hands-on activities and strategies designed to support math learning. Outcome would be to develop a diverse and effective set of activities that cater to different learning styles, making the classroom equitable. In week 6 comes the fun part, whoop, whoop, technology integration. Technology can greatly enhance the learning experience. In week 6, teachers will explore various digital tools at a technology fair and learn how to integrate these into their math stations. So the task would be to develop a lesson plan that incorporates technology and discuss its impact with peers. And to modernize math stations, teachers are encouraged to set up technology enhanced stations. So during the technology fair, educators will investigate various software and digital tools for integration into their math stations, enhancing interactive learning and teaching experiences. These resources range from apps that help visualize mathematical concepts to platforms that facilitate mathematical discussions and problem solving. For instance, tools like Desmos allow for dynamic visualization, while websites like Fraction Talks encourage mathematical discourse. Additionally, Prodigy, which is Pokemon, but math Pokemon. These digital solutions are transforming the way math is taught, providing students with engaging and personalized learning experiences. And when I tell you, when the kids are engaged, you will literally have to pry their hands off of the device when they are actively engaged within their learning, especially those gamified math stations. And then another task would be lesson plan, like I said, lesson plan creation and video submissions. So teachers can capture their math stations in action to share with peers to facilitate further feedback and improvement. Giving your peers something to go on. Like, oh, I see Johnny is in this station and he's doing somersaults. What's going on with Johnny? Well, I could tell you what, I had a student like Johnny, but his his name was Bebop. And this is what worked for him. Maybe you can try this. Now, section or week 7, feedback is crucial for growth. In week 7, the participants in the professional development will get to collect and analyze feedback from their students about the math stations. This data will guide them in refining their stations to better meet the needs of all of their learners. So, an action step for this week would be to use student feedback to revise and improve their math station designs. In week 8, educators will learn advanced strategies to further enhance their math stations. This includes role playing exercises to practice supporting diverse learners and developing more inclusive activities. So, this will be the chance to enhance the portfolios, incorporating advanced strategies and analyzing case studies. Are we moving our learners into deeper learning? Deeper learning? Absolutely. By engaging in reflective practices and collaborative design challenges, teachers will not only learn about math stations but also critically analyze and apply new strategies. Week 9 offers an opportunity to share and refine your teaching methods. Engage in peer teaching sessions where you can showcase your strategies and receive constructive feedback. So during this week, it will be an assessment week. Will participate in peer assessments to provide and receive feedback on teaching strategies. And pre and post assessment surveys will be conducted to monitor shifts in teachers' comprehension of math stations. Written reflections or concept maps will be documented or will be used to document educators' learning journey and to articulate the advantages of math stations for their students. And then finally, week 10. Week 10 focuses on reflection and growth. And then the final assignment, everyone will complete a post assessment survey and write a reflective essay on the impact of the course on their. Who controls the learning? It's a shared journey. We encourage teachers to take the lead in their learning process by creating and testing their own math stations with guidance and support from peers and facilitators. Let's explore this comprehensive weekly calendar designed to help educators effectively implement math stations in their classroom. So the introduction module, we will focus on introducing the concept of math stations. We will start by watching introductory videos to understand what math stations are and the benefits they bring to a classroom setting. In week 2, it's all about design. You or teachers will learn the principles of designing effective math stations tailored to different learning needs. In week 3, it's time to put the plan in action. Teachers will implement their math stations in the classroom. So activities will be set up in logistics, where they will prepare the physical space and logistics for implementing their stations. They will have a classroom trial where they get to try out the stations with their students and observe how they engage. Teachers will reflect and share their experiences with their peers to refine their approach, and they will submit a reflective journal entry on their implementation experience. During week 4, teachers will understand the developmental milestones relevant to their students, and they will work in groups to analyze case studies and learn from real life examples. They will also practice adapting tasks to suit different developmental stages and apply the principles to draft a lesson plan. Reviewing lesson plans and refine them based on peer feedback. So the assessment for that week would be to submit a lesson plan that incorporates developmental principles. And week 5, teachers will learn various strategies to enhance math learning. They will also begin building a portfolio of hands-on math activities. Then they will test these strategies and activities in their classroom. For the assessment, the teachers will review their digital portfolio for variety and effectiveness. In week 6, we will hone in on technology being a powerful tool in math education. So teachers will explore ways to integrate technology. So the teachers will witness tech presentations and the technology fair where they'll learn about educational technologies and participate in a hands-on tech fair. So you get to experience the digital tools from as if you were a student. Then the teacher will plan lessons that integrate these tools and reflect on and refine the tech enhanced lesson plans based on feedback. So the assessment for this week would be to submit a peer reviewed lesson plan incorporating technology. In week 7, the teacher will gather and analyze feedback to improve their math stations. We will focus on collecting and utilizing the data. So some activities for week 7 would be feedback collection workshop, where teachers will learn effective methods for gathering student feedback. Data analysis, where you teachers will collect the feedback and performance data and analyze it for key insights. So it will inform your instruction in small group by gathering the data. We need to know what our kids know and what they don't know. And you will be able to actually shuttle up and teach because you will know exactly what each of your students' needs are. And you will use the feedback to refine your math station designs. So the assessment for this week, week 7 that is, would be to submit revised math station designs based on feedback. Then in week 8, we would use advanced strategies for diverse learners. This week is all about going deeper with advanced strategies to support diverse learners. Diverse learners being your Section 504 students, special education students, gifted and talented students. We have so many different learners in our classroom, and we need the time to develop strategies to meet their needs. So, during this week, week 8, teachers will discover advanced techniques and strategies for math stations. They will practice these strategies through role playing exercises and will develop individualized support plans for diverse learners. Eventually, the goal is to become so good at it that you can do it with your eyes closed without even needing to put it in a lesson plan because it'll just be something that you do without even having to think about it. But in order to get to that point, it takes practice. And who better to practice with than other educators? Week 9 provides a chance for peer teaching and receiving feedback to refine teaching methods. In week 9, the assessment would be to complete a peer assessment and feedback reflection. And then finally, week 10, reflection and future growth. The final week is dedicated to reflection and planning for future growth. So the activities would be individual reflection, where teachers will reflect on their personal growth throughout the course, group discussions where they share their reflections and discuss future applications for learning, and then final reflections, write and refine a reflective essay on your learning journey. And the assessment for the final week, and by this week it should be joyous and teachers should feel empowered and be like, girl, we need to go get coffee sometime so we can continue this conversation. And there you have it, a comprehensive professional development plan for Math Station. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to stay updated with more educational content. Once again, thank you for tuning in to Shut Up and Teach podcast. Also, thanks for joining me on this educational journey. Stay tuned for more insights and strategies to enhance teaching and learning. If you found this episode helpful, please subscribe and share it with your fellow educators. Also, be sure to keep an eye out for our upcoming course on Math Station Mastery. It is in the works and will be fully designed and ready soon, packed with even more resources and guidance to help you succeed in your classroom. Don't forget to leave a comment below with your thoughts or questions. I always love hearing from you. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy teaching. Until next time, keep inspiring those young minds.